Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I go live or when I upload videos. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. We are talking about Dahmer. I think it's called Monster, the Story of Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, it's a very long title. Hi, William Lawrence. So it's a very long title, and it was a lot to take in. So tonight we're not going to be going over the series as a whole. We're going to go over episodes 3 through 7. So that's 5 episodes in an hour. We might get it through, we might get through it faster, but we'll see. And let me get my girl up in here, Moochie. Moochella Reviews.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going? You ready to talk about this?
Yeah, let's talk about it because this whole week was crazy because a lot of people have been checking it out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna start off with episode number 3. We did episode 1 and 2 last Friday. So I'm going to wrap it up maybe, I don't know, hopefully sometime next week. I can't tell y'all when, but I'm going to wrap it up later on. Okay. So we have episode number 3. Hey, Naya and Savannah. So this is what I want to say, guys, when I mention this. Okay, first of all, let me let you guys know that episode number 3 is called Doing A Dahmer. So this reminds me of the time when he was at school. You know, he's hearing his parents arguing. In this episode, we really see that him and his parents had a very tumultuous relationship. Is it tumultuous or tumultuous? I think it's tumultuous.
Yeah, I thought it was right the first way you said it.
Yeah, it's tumultuous.
They just had it was very stressful where they're arguing constantly, and the mother seems like she's not even mentally stable.
Yes, and toxic, and it was just very bad. So the Doing A Dahmer also is he sees his parents arguing. He hears them arguing, and he walks in there and he sees them. They say, "Get it." His father says, "Get out of here," you know, like mind your business. And he goes into school, and for some reason, he must have did some type of impersonation of what's going on with his parents, but he does it like, you know, someone that is severely mentally developed, right? Mentally challenged, because we don't use the R word anymore. Mm-hmm. And he's making fun of the way his parents argue. And so the kid is saying, one of his classmates is like, "Oh, do this, you know, do it." And he's like, Joyce, whatever the freak he was doing, right? So it's kind of hard. It makes me feel really bad to laugh when we talk about this show. I remember my when I did the first recap, I laughed at something, and it wasn't really, of course, I'm not laughing at the situation, especially because I'm so familiar with this actor from, what's his name, Evan Peters. He's from American Horror Story. So
you know the writer for that is doing that.
It's the Ryan Murphy. Okay. Yeah. So at first, when I was watching it, like I understood that I was watching the Dahmer story, but it was like I'm looking at it like I'm watching him from American Horror Story, and there was some type of thrilling situation going on when the guy, what was his name, Tracy, was escaping the apartment. So it was almost like you're watching a horror story. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of getting this thrill out of it. And for me, it was forgetting that this is not that. You know, this is a series. This is what really happened to people, and it's really not funny. So I had, you know, but that was the first episode. But then after that, like second and third, like after that, it just got realer than real. Mm-hmm. And I had to take it in doses. Like I couldn't I couldn't just go binge watch and go crazy because it was too much, especially when we got to episode 6. But anyway, so that's what Doing A Dahmer is. So I wanted to show you guys this actual picture because if you have a routine, switch that sucker up. Okay.
Yeah.
People be out here lurking and watching, mm-hmm. and they ready to strike. If they see that you got a routine, you at a certain place at a certain time, every Tuesday, every this, mm-hmm. every that, they got the patience enough to watch you. So you need to switch it up. Don't be letting nobody know that you got a routine.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Because we saw what his whole thing was. He was gonna try to get to this this jogger, and it was like a I mean, who jogs with a bat? Like, you already know something is going down. You jogging with a freaking bat. But it was like a flash, you know, like he caught himself, right?
Yeah, he
Didn't,
froze.
right. And then he had all this imagination going on in his mind where, oh, he's, you know, having a nice time with the guy, their chair, you know, doing the cheers, having a drink, blah, blah, blah. And that was just that. So you could jump in and say anything when it came to this part right here, his whole imagination.
First, I want to say happy birthday, Inga.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks for stopping by. I know it's Friday night and it's your birthday. Enjoy, girl.
Yes, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I was busy talking.
No, that was my
Let
job,
me say hi. Naya and Little Rock. Hey, Little Rock and Damien and Rainy J. I like that name. And Inga, happy birthday. Oh, also my 51st birthday.
Yeah.
Blessings. I pray for many, many more. Okay. So go ahead, Moochie.
Yeah, so what I was saying is he basically came out and startled this dude, but he wasn't ready to commit and follow the act.
No.
I think he was attracted to him because he was watching him jog every day while driving home from wherever he was driving home. Seemed like he was driving home from school, so he was fixated on it, and he just doesn't know how to approach people. That's all. He didn't know how to approach people at that time, and I still feel like this guy's a monster.
Of course.
But they're trying to humanize him when they did this movie also. Which I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth about it.
I don't know. I think you do have a point. I'm not sure if they were trying to humanize him. I think they might have been trying to shed light on the fact that there are so many people out here with the sickness. And as parents, if you don't catch on to that sucker, it's going to turn into a disaster. So I think it was more of like a cautionary tale than anything, instead of trying to make him look like, you know, like some type of just a guy who was sick and made these terrible choices. I think it was more like that. Because, and I'm saying this because I work with people like this guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty much a case manager for people like him that have, and they listen, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't have people like this anymore. Thank God. They used to be my worst people. You had to have emergency meetings for them all the time because they had so much behavior problems trying to break out this and that. Thank God none of my people killed anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the ones that probably killed people would be allowed to be in like group homes or things like that. They probably keep them more confined. But I deal with people that have a lot of these mental illness that makes them think a certain way, makes them try to harm people. Like, it's really, really serious. So the parents have to get on top of this, and that's what we're going to talk about. So the mom, we see that in the beginning, the father is so upset because she's pregnant and she's taking 26 pills. Like, what the heck?
My thing was when they showed her in the bus stop in her nightgown.
Yeah. And then come to find out, after all these years, she was just diagnosed with postpartum depression. It didn't seem real.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it didn't seem real. I don't know. Okay, so, and we also see that, like I said, we saw the parents don't get along. He loves dissecting animals, and remember, he was looking forward to dissecting that dead pig, and the girl was like, "No, I'm a vegetarian. I don't want to do." And he was kind of pissed off about to.
He was pissed off, and so was the other guy.
Yeah.
And then when he said, "Look, I got one to take home," he like, "What?"
Right.
Like, what?
He was like, I know that it was okay, because the dude stopped him in the hall, like, that was really cool, right? What we giving that to her, right? That bee. I'm just like, and he thought he had a friend, unfortunately. So we also see that the guts, remember when he went fishing with his father, the guts of the fish actually turned him on. Because remember when he was trying to masturbate, he had the Playboy magazine. He couldn't masturbate off of that. But once he had that vision of the guts of the fish in between his hands, that made him
It's just
ejaculate.
weird.
Yeah, just So, um, what else? So his parents get a divorce, and then his mom takes the younger kid, and they freaking abandon this dude. All right. I mean, he's
I
in the
think they
house
left him for like 2 months by
3 months.
himself. Okay, I was
Yeah,
close.
3 months by himself. And I just want to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself. Um, so I think I'm gonna talk more about that in episode 4. So I'm gonna hold on. All right, but he's in the house 3 months by himself. After this whole jogger situation, he couldn't go through with it, but he meets a hitchhiker. And the hitchhiker unfortunately turns out to be his first victim. Can you please talk about that?
Can I please talk about the hitchhiker? I felt bad for that. That was his actual first victim.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the first victim.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed like such a cheerful person. He met him. Look, I'm trying to hitchhike to go to this concert. This is my favorite group. Blah blah blah. He said, "Well, we could go back to my house and have a couple of beers, and I'll take you to the concert." Which
Right.
I'm like, that should have been a red flag right there.
Exactly.
But keep in mind, we're still in the 70s. People were still hitchhiking and things of that nature. So people weren't as cautious. They took more chances back then. But
right.
This thing, it seemed like they was getting along good. But as soon as the guy said he had to leave, that's when his whole demeanor changed.
Well, he tried to kiss him, remember?
That too.
And he was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm just playing around, just playing around." And I'm sorry, look, the way, what's his name? Evan Peters did this. Certain parts did make me laugh a little bit. It's not funny at all. I'm talking about the way he spoke. Like I did find myself mocking him a lot.
That, and they said he had a good Midwestern accent.
Yes. So the way, like, he really studied this the guy, and when I say the guy, I mean Jeffrey Dahmer. He studied him and the way he spoke and stuff like that. And so sometimes I did make fun, and I hate to say that because, like I said, this is a sensitive type of situation, but I'm talking about the actor's voice, the way he did it. But anyway, because when I heard Dahmer, like, I did hear like an interview with Dahmer, and I didn't really hear that same kind of voice. And it's not to say that he didn't do a good job, but I just didn't really hear the same exact thing. Like I said, I keep comparing Evan Peters to all of his characters that he's played on American Horror Story, so it's a little hard to kind of, but he still did a good job playing Dahmer. So yes, like we said, he catches the first body and he kills this guy, and he tries to get rid of the body. Remember, he's driving away now, and he's driving at night, and he must have put his body in some bag, for a few bags, and he gets freaking pulled over. And what the heck do the cops tell him?
Look, I'm gonna let you go this time.
Yeah,
because I don't want to ruin your life.
You got your whole life ahead of you.
It just showed me all the white privilege that he had. And he got away with it for so long. And that was the first beginning of seeing that happen.
Let me see. Naya says the younger brother David changed his last name from Dahmer. I don't blame him at all.
Okay, it was another one.
I could imagine. Okay, hold on. Steve said, "Hi, Steve." He said the actor had to go to therapy after. I can imagine, and
of course.
Stevie, I'm so happy that you said this, because I was gonna bring it up in, like, when we got into the other episodes, that I feel like everybody that was kind of connected to this case, even those two cops, like the black cop and the white cop, especially the black cop, that had to, interrogate him, or not really interrogate, because he was saying everything, he was just, it was more like an interview, So those cops, I feel like they needed to have therapy, especially the black cop, because we're gonna talk about that.
He was mad when he was sitting there.
We're gonna talk about that soon. Let me see. You said
it was the comment at 12:12. That Naya made.
Okay, she said they changed it up. He didn't get a chance to attack the jogger because he didn't show up on the day Jeffrey was going to attack him. He got lucky. Yeah, they changed up a lot of things, which is another thing that annoys me a little bit. Is because some certain things we can just speak on it right now, about the show. but we can't really say, oh, that's so messed up, this and that, because like I was going to talk about with Glenda, she wasn't really a next door neighbor, but we'll get into that. All right. So hey, Art Love.
Hey,
and
Art.
AG says yes, they had to go to therapy because wow, right. What I mean, because what else can you do? But what else can you say? But wow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would have changed my name. And the mother, remember how this is further down, but remember the mother when
She
stuff hit the
changed her
fan, she
name
was
right
like,
away too. I'm not
a Dahmer. So let me get out the comments for a minute, guys. So I'm trying to stay on course. All right. So let's see. So, you got your whole life ahead of you. So they let him slide. Once again, they could have caught this man. That could have been his one and only victim.
Yep.
But they let him go because what? Blonde hair, white skin. And that's the thing. And that's
Definitely.
the problem. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why somebody came into my chat last Friday and they were saying something about how, I don't know if he's saying the people that are watching it or, the people that made it, they're sick and they're trying to glorify this or whatever. This is not a glorified. This is shedding light on a situation that had a lot of systematic racism, like a lot of injustice, a lot.
And
I mean, it's just a lot.
And not only that, it did shed the light on that, and it shed the light also on the white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it should be used as a cautionary tale with things.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
I wasn't looking at it for entertainment purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I watch documentaries and I like watching crime shows. So I would have watched this eventually. And not only that, I don't know if you know, Miss K, this is the third Jeffrey Dahmer movie that's been made. I saw all three of them. So
I only seen this one.
The other one, the guy that plays Arrow. I mean, not Arrow. The Archer in he's an Avenger.
Oh yeah.
He played Jeffrey Dahmer too.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played Jeffrey Dahmer too.
I could see that. Yeah, but it's sad. So before we wrap this up, this is episode 3. So before we wrap this up, I also want to mention that he had a drinking problem, guys, even to the point where he brought a beer to class. Now, if his parents didn't freaking abandon him for 3 months, he probably
they didn't even call his parents.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. Well, they did. She said the mom. Remember when they brought him into the office after that?
Mm-hmm.
Then he cracks the beer open like it ain't nothing, y'all.
Yeah, he walked with right the whole in the class like it was a can of Coke.
Yes, like crack. It's like, yo, what is happening here?
Just like it was Coca-Cola.
Ciao. So yep, so 3 months without his parents. Okay, and here's, like I was saying, I didn't want to have too many I didn't want to show that for too long on the screen while we talked because I only had 2 screenshots for episode 3. But yeah, this was really sad. And could you imagine like the family, like this guy's family and the friends that he was supposed to meet, and then he scatters his body all over the yard?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right. And then what else? There was something else that I wanted to say about this. I don't remember, but it's just sad. And then saying during the interview that it helped him feel close, that he liked the idea of him being close to him. And I'm just like, this is insane. Okay, so let's move on to episode 4. And the episode 4 is called The Good Boy Box. So do you remember this episode as far as the Good Boy Box? Do you remember the box that he asked his grandmother
had with all the pictures?
Yeah.
She let him have it.
Mm-hmm.
He was already planning to put something in there. He was planning to put something in there. I was like, I know he's going to do something with this.
Right. And the sad thing about it is he was like, I wish I would have had a box like this or whatever. But then you asked for this box to do something evil with it. So it's like, really? It's just irking. All right. So now the dad comes back. All right. He's been gone for 3 months. No freaking check-in, no nothing. Gonna try to sit there and blame the mom. Like, what is wrong? Well, how could she leave this? And you didn't even check in.
Exactly.
How could you leave your family, even though y'all was going through a divorce or whatever? How could you leave? You know you have 2 sons. How could you leave and not check in to make sure they're okay?
They were both selfish as parents too.
Yeah.
They just thought about themselves once he got in high school, and it just seemed weird. They didn't even go to his graduation or nothing.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And for him to be, you know, oh, you're busy out here getting yourself married and all that, or whatever he did, it was just like, and then you try to come back and be Mr. Fix It. And in this moment right here, Jeffrey is trying to tell his father that something is wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is what happened in real life. This is what I'm talking about being annoyed. What's annoyed about them switching things up is because I can't tell what's real and what's not. You know. Oh, hey, Little Rock, thank you. He says, shout out to you too for getting through the season watching it so I don't have to. Oh, I know. It's a lot. So it is a lot. So if you're here to hear and, you know, listen to us talk about it, awesome. And thank you so much for the super chat. Love you. So, yeah, so she's here. You know, this is Molly Ringwald, right?
It is? It don't even look like her.
I kept looking at her.
I was trying to place her, but I couldn't place her.
I kept looking at her and I was like, who the heck is this? So it was episodes and episodes going by and I'm like, is that freaking Molly Ringwald? And so I decided to look it up and it definitely was her. Wow. I was like, I said, she just looks too familiar, who is this person? Okay. So anyway, she annoyed me. All right. And this is Dahmer aside, whoever he, forget about it. Like, you're coming in, I don't know you, and you're telling me about how much sugar I'm putting in my coffee or whatever that might drink. Like, mind your business. So she kind of got on my nerves with that. Like, she just met the kid and she's already trying to tell him how, you know, what to do and stuff like that. Like, the father has been gone for 3 months. What makes you think you could say something to him? Mm-hmm, that was just my thing, you know? Oh, thank you, AG. So, yeah, like I said, he's trying to tell his dad that something is wrong with him. And then the father's like, oh, you mean like sex stuff? And instead of really letting Jeffrey explain it, he jumps right into, oh, I got this idea. Oh, you want to go to Ohio State? I'm going to pay for it. And it was just like, wow. Like,
just ship him off to somebody else.
Yeah.
Instead of getting the help that he needs.
Mm-hmm. It was crazy. Hey, Greta and Monique Nicole. What's up?
Hey, Rainy J.
Yes. So, what's next? Hold on. Let me just make sure. Did you want to say anything about this little part with him finally showing up?
I was mad at this scene because he was right about the drinking, but it was like he was not. And AG in the chat made it clear. He was not listening to his son. His son said, look, I'm not like, you know, it's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'm not like, he overlooked all of that and talked about Ohio State.
Right.
So I was like, oh, he just wants to ignore the elephant in the room.
So, yeah, let's go to school. He was drinking up a storm at school. I mean, when he had a 0.45 GPA, like, this guy, like, how did you even get that? If he wasn't going to class, I'm surprised he even had a GPA. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it like 0 something?
What was it? 0.45.
What he did was write his name on a paper.
Yeah. So I'm like, what? You didn't show up and you saw how he was just drinking and everything. I mean, look, thank God though that he didn't hurt anybody in college. You know what I'm saying? But it's probably because he really couldn't, you know, he probably didn't have. All right, it's because he didn't learn how to do it yet. Okay. So look, he gets kicked out. So let me back that up, because he didn't do it because he didn't learn how to do it yet. Every little thing that happened in this guy's life, he was learning it from along the way, from when he was a kid, learning how to dissect, doing that little lobotomy thing with what his father told him with the frogs and all of this, the heart, this and that, all of that he was learning. Exactly. Then after this, he gets sent to the military, and that's when he learns about the what is that, the halcyon drug. That's probably something that he used to help drug these people and stuff like that.
I don't want to go. I believe he learned most of his stuff when he went in the army.
That's what can you hear me?
No, I couldn't hear you for a minute.
Oh no, because you're kind of repeating. Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure that you can hear me, because that's like the.
And I didn't want to cut you off, so
Yeah. So he gets. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to go ahead, but he gets kicked out and goes to the army, and then he gets a dishonorable discharge from the army because he was doing some shit. He had some shenanigans going on there too, right? Did you want to talk about this? Because now he has to move in with his grandmother. And here's, before you say something, he's making him move in the house with his grandmother. And I just want you to go ahead from there.
Well, okay, he was doing good at first. Got a job. He had the job with the Polish guy at the butcher. Mm-hmm. So he was doing good with that. And they seemed to be getting along, and they were talking and everything. But once he went there, where he was doing the meat with the shirt on, he was like, nah, you can't be back here with that. You got to get a white shirt. When he went to go get that shirt and stayed.
Wait, no. Okay, sorry. No, that, I hear what you're saying, but that already happened in like episode 2, I think.
Oh, when he was staying there with the mannequin?
Yeah, it had, all of that happens already.
That was weird. She should have talked to the father about that.
Yeah. And the time when she started talking to
I mentioned it because he had that shirt on
and that made him go ahead and do the mannequin thing. But the fact, you know what the thing about this thing, Moochie, is that they kept going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll let us see the story one way with remember the kid Conorak, and then they brought it again. Even they brought back Tracy running out of the apartment. You know, even though we saw it the first episode, and I think in episode 8, they brought it back. You know, when they was talking about the Cassandra episode. Was that 7? That was episode 7. But you know, he's back, and now he's working at the blood bank, right?
Right.
So the mom, he masturbates at a fair because could you?
Yo, that was crazy.
You go ahead. Speak.
He was just like, getting money, y'all. Get money.
Ew.
Like, he was getting money. He was getting money. I'm not gonna say the N word. He was getting money. That's what I say. He was, getting money with himself, handling his business. But it was at the amusement park in front of the thing because he was fantasizing about his person.
The kid, yes.
That was crazy. And he had his pants all the way down to his ankles.
And my thing is, how do you get that out of your mind? That you forget that you're in public. And then the grandmother starts blaming herself, like, I shouldn't have told you about the beer. Yeah, the beer tent. And honestly, she right, because I was thinking when she first told him about it, I said, why the heck you going to tell him?
Beer?
Yeah, I'm like, why the heck you going to tell him about the daggone beer? That's what he loves.
You know what the messed up, the funny part I laughed at, and I know I shouldn't have. When he tried to go back to work.
Yes.
And the man was like, get out of here. Yeah. I know what you did at the fair. Get out.
I laughed with that one.
No, you don't come in here. Get out of here.
I heard about you. Get out. Yo, and after that, this man was getting kicked out of everything. And it's almost like that's, but if you think about it, yes, that part was funny, but it's like all of that was signs. All of that was red flag. No, I'm laughing too. I'm just saying, but when you think about it on a serious note, all of that was red flags. He gets kicked out of everything. That's when you're supposed to know something is wrong here. He get kicked out of school. He get kicked out of the army. Like, come on. Job. He's losing jobs. Like, this is too much. Okay. Now, let me see. So now he works at a blood bank. Yeah. And I remember last week I was trying to say, I wonder if they're going to get to the bottom of his cannibalism. But they really didn't. They just showed him drinking blood.
No, they showed him cooking food too.
No, I'm talking about getting to the bottom of it.
Oh,
Like why?
they didn't. They didn't ask why.
Yeah, they didn't get to like why you want to eat them.
Yeah.
We know why you wanted to cut them up, because you was doing dissecting roadkill from when you was a kid. But why you wanted to eat these people? So, and what made you think about drinking blood? It was just like, y'all let us see all this other stuff, but you didn't kind of let us get into the mind of why you decided to eat people. So just like, okay. But I mean, it was just really disgusting. And eventually, it's just gonna go downhill from here, guys. All right. So then he starts drugging people at a bathhouses, a bathhouse, at a bathhouse, and then he gets banned from other bathhouses. That was another get out situation.
Yeah, he's like, I know you're the one that's drugging people. Get out of here, card, please.
Yep. He was like, oh no, get that F out of here. He was so like,
and I already told the other bathhouse.
Yeah, he said, you're blacklisted. I was like, oh my gosh. The thing about Dahmer is he doesn't want to have any accountability. Oh, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. The heck are you talking about? You didn't do anything.
I couldn't. A lot of people in here saying they couldn't watch the scene when he was drinking the blood. I couldn't.
Yeah, so let me take it off the screen for y'all. Sorry, guys. That is disgusting. I thought it was gross as well, so I'm gonna take it off the screen for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Normally, I try not to keep the little nasty stuff on the screen, but I'm kind of looking at you.
No, I know you checking your notes and stuff. I got you. And so, don't worry.
But then because he gets blacklisted, because he was in there drugging people, guys. Mm-hmm. He's drugging people, but thankfully he wasn't killing them. But the one dude that he did drug, they thought he might have been dead, like, overdose. So it was, that's the reason why it came to light. So then he meets another guy and he takes him to this hotel. And I'm just looking like, yo, this hotel looks like fancy. How can you afford this? So he makes a mistake and drugs himself. And even when he drugged himself, I thought for sure that he was not going to be able to kill this guy.
I thought
he
so too.
Still did.
He don't even remember what he did. That's the crazy part.
So he says that this guy and the first guy were accidental deaths. Okay. And their both name was Steve. That was crazy.
He was like, oh, they're both whose names Steve.
Yeah, right. And I was just like, oh, just shut up. You see how the black cop was looking at him.
The black detective was pissed off with him by then.
Right. So
he wanted to wring his neck.
Mm-hmm. So by the time they wake up, he drugged himself. He still manages to go into the bathroom and drug the guy's drink for real this time, like the guy's drink. By the time they wake up, the guy's chest is like caved the freak in. And I was like, what the heck happened? His chest is caved in. It looked like more to like one side, kind of like, well, this would be the right side. And then his head got gashes on it. And I'm like, what happened? He doesn't know. We just know that he freaking woke up and the dude is dead. He tries to do CPR on him. And then, that doesn't work. So he gets a suitcase and takes the guy out. You see how white people can just do anything and no one suspects a daggone thing? But all a black person got to do is walk and all of a sudden they look suspicious. How many now, and I hate to say this because now it's like, how many times have you walked by somebody that was carrying a body, a white person? Now, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know. Did you want to say anything before we move on with that situation? You're on mute.
I'm like, how is he going to get out of here with this thing? He basically went there and brought the suitcase back to his grandmother's house. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she was oblivious to stuff anyway. She knew the truth to me.
Yeah.
She just was in denial.
Yeah, that's like what he said too. And Jeffrey said that too. He was like, I just think she was just turning a blind eye. Stupid voice. All right, guys. So now we're going to get to episode number 5. And that is called Blood on Their Hands. And this, honestly, the title of this episode can just go for everything, right? Like the whole series, because so many of these people had blood on their hands. So in this episode, he goes to an unknown man's funeral and tries to dig up his body. You want to talk about that, Moochie? Oh gosh, you're mute again.
Oh, he goes to this funeral, and then this is when he was working at the chocolate factory, and his I guess it was one of his coworkers. He was like, "How you gonna go to this funeral? You don't even know this guy."
Right. I thought he was beautiful. Yeah, he's like, I thought he was beautiful, and he was like, that's really what it was always about, just if I thought they were beautiful. I'm sorry, guys. Honestly, for me, and y'all should know by now, if y'all been following me for a while, y'all should know by now that I cannot help but to impersonate people. Okay, I can't help it. If I'm telling a story, I try to say it the way the person said it. So I'm not trying to make light. This is who I am. I cannot freaking help it. Okay. So the cop now is looking at him like, I don't buy that bull crap, because he's like, it's just whether I thought they were beautiful. He was like, I ain't buying that. You know what the heck you was doing. You moved into an underserved community. You targeted Black people. You're not fooling nobody here. And in a way, see, let me tell you guys something about what I was talking about with people that I've worked with like this. They do know what they're doing. That's why his sentencing was justified, because they know what they're doing. Insanity is it's really supposed to be where it's like almost like you freaking, it's not really like a blackout, but it's like you're really out of your freaking mind. And it shouldn't be a continual situation over and over and over and over. How could you plead insanity and you continue doing this over and over and over again? It's premeditated. You know what I'm saying? You're going back to the same place that you're picking up these people. You're going back to the bathhouse. You're going back to the club. You know what I mean? Like, you bought the saw, you bought the acid, you bought the barrel. All of this, you know exactly what you're doing. And when this cop said that you knew by going into these underserved areas, you knew that you was going to be flying under the radar. Yep. Just like that cop said, what are you doing in this area? Like, this is, they call this like what, crack city or something like that.
He was like, "Are you not doing crack, are you?"
Yeah. So what you doing here?
He got away also with people had that phobia back then in the early 90s of aliens. Yeah. So as soon as he mentioned that it's gay stuff. Yep. They didn't want to go in the apartment because they're afraid they're gonna get the monster. So
well, that's the first cop, not the first cops, the cops that with the kid Conarac. Yeah. They were the ones that they was like, oh, you don't want to get nothing. We don't want to touch anything, blah, blah, blah. Right. And there was a body in the freaking room. If they would have just went in there, they would have saw freaking, what's his name? Tony's body. They would have saw Tony's body on the floor. But because they didn't want to go in the room, like, y'all was that close. So that is another thing that pissed me off. And
they smelled it too. You mean to tell me these police officers didn't know the smell of a dead body? Fuck out of here.
It's so ridiculous.
Sorry for dropping
so it's okay. It's okay. So, what was I saying? But yeah, it's just all of that, like, so here's the thing, because all of these things he's learning from, right? Okay. The last cops with the kid that I had, because he admitted he never knew their names. With the kid that I bought him, once they found out I was gay, they didn't really want to mess with it. So that's why with the dude in the beginning, Tracy, he was like, oh, it's just the gang stuff, because he figured as soon as he brought that up, they was gonna fall back. But no, they did not. They continued to go in, and thank God they did, because that's how they were able to find stuff and put it into this. He
still almost got away. That knife was over in the corner on the other side of the bed.
Yeah, if that cop didn't press it and be like, no, I'll go get it. If he didn't press it and would have let him go get the key.
And he looked at them pictures and he was like, this is
real. it would have been it would have been way more bodies, you know.
Yes, and
So
but Tony's story was sad.
yeah, so this is him just saying, you know, purposely, you purposely moved in. He was just so pissed off, like he would just, and this is what I was saying, that I feel like he would need therapy, you know, just after sitting across from this guy,
Definitely.
you know. So go ahead.
Sidebar, they were saying that a lot of the victims or the survivors of this
Mm-hmm.
and people that they're being triggered by this whole Netflix
Yeah,
thing
I
too.
meant
So
to
and I
say that.
understand.
Yeah, I meant to say that
So I
I'm
feel bad
hearing.
for it, but I feel like it still should be a cautionary tale that's told.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I mean, I thought, unfortunately, that they knew. I thought they knew automatically, and that they had consent, but clearly they didn't, which is crazy to me. So now, guys, in this episode, this dude, he starts killing people at his grandmother's house. Okay, I think he altogether he committed 3 murders in that house, right? And so, but there was one guy that he was able to get away. But before we get into that, the grandmother, she found an altar, and that's when she finally decided to call the father. And then the father came, right, and he was like, oh my gosh, the smell, you know. And he touched the blood. I'm like, ew, how are you just gonna touch the blood? But obviously he's not thinking it's human, but it doesn't matter, like,
And he think it's
ew.
an animal.
Yeah, it's still disgusting. Why are you touching it?
He seemed like to me, showing his son how to pick up roadkill and doing all of that. That just seemed like you have something wrong with you, kinda too, but you just
Mm.
had more of a strength than your son.
Yeah, well, he did say it after a while, but we're not on that one yet. But he did admit it or whatever. But it's like, dag, but between the mother and him, he have a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he goes down there and he's just like, you know, I wanna he wanted to have a dinner. No, you know what? I'm skipping. I'm skipping. So this is the kid. His name is Ron Flowers,
I was
and
mad at this part.
yeah, he needed a ride. And this story was also, they also added their own little thing. Like they said that with him, there's really no details behind what really happened. So they added their own details where his hey sissy, that's my sister.
Oh hi.
It's okay. So he what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he was like, what really happened to him, sorry, I gotta get back on track. So what really happened with this guy is that he woke up in the hospital. So he doesn't know how, what, I think he did remember Jeffrey Dahmer, but no one knows how the heck he got in the hospital. Do you know anything about it?
No, I know the way they showed it. The grandmother, if it wasn't for the grandmother coming down there, she knew he was gonna do it. That's why I'm saying this woman knew what he was gonna do, and she just was like, "Nah, this one I see what's going on. He's not. This is not gonna happen on my watch." And I don't know. I know they probably dramatized that part just to make it for the thing. But
which was
I
cool.
could see them putting them on a bus like that. People have done that where they put them on the bus like that, and then the bus driver probably called the cops, and that's how, I mean, not the cops, got him where he was sent to a hospital.
I mean, something had to happen, because I'm like, how he got away is not, we don't know. That's not confirmed. The grandmother being a part of that story was not confirmed, like none of that. So it was an interesting take, you know, her being there. I loved how she stopped that whole thing. Like, no, I'm gonna stay down here. He was so mad. This is effing unreal. Like, no, it's unreal because she's trying to save somebody's life. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
So when he wakes up, he remembers that he was drugged. You see, this dude was offering. So now we know, guys, cautionary tale. Be careful of anybody that just constantly is trying to get you to drink something, okay? Because that's what this dude was doing this whole time, trying to get somebody to drink something. That's all he cared about. The guy didn't want no beer. He said, listen, I got to work in the morning. He said, oh, well, you want some coffee? I'm just trying to be nice. And so he said, yeah, I'll take the coffee. No, I'm going to your house. I don't want nothing to drink. I don't want anything. All
I
right.
just want you to get these jumper cables like you said you was, and I'm going back to my car. Even when he
That's
came
it.
on to him, he let him know, look, this ain't that type of party right now because
Mm-hmm.
I got stuff to do. I
Right.
can't party like that tonight.
Right. He said, huh, you know that, right? I made that clear, right? And he said, we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see, because he knew that he had just drugged him. So he like, yeah, okay, we'll see. You over here talking. All right.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know you had black friends.
Right. So so he goes to the cops after he wakes up, and he gets out the hospital, and he's telling the cop, listen, I'm pretty sure that there's stuff at that house, like you can find it if you go there. So they do go to the house, and because the grandmother was there, to corroborate his story, and she's like, yeah, it's true, I was with him all night, that part is true. He was
She
like, I'm
lied. She
sorry.
still lied.
She was with him the whole night.
She lied. He wasn't
And
there
that
the
was
whole night. He was at that damn club, and he went out there and saw him when he left.
no, I'm talking about, she talking about when she stayed down there with him. That wasn't a
Oh
lie.
yeah, that wasn't a lie. Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that right there, that made it look like it was an innocent situation, and it really
Mhm.
wasn't.
Mhm.
Oh boy. So, oh my gosh. But that was pretty much that. And also we see in this episode, we get to see what happened with the boy Conrac's brother, because he got out the house some way. See, some of his victims, he be slipping, because some of his victims were able to get away. Thank God. You want him to be slipping, obviously, but
Mhm.
it doesn't show how Conrac's brother got away. You just see him like wobbling going down the street, and he was about to chase him, but the grandmother was knocking on the window, bang 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 bang. That stopped him, that saved his life, right? And that's when
Mhm.
we go into the whole case.
I was pissed off at that.
Child, yeah. And then the
They
fact
made
that
it
he's
seem
like,
like they was
oh
inconveniencing him because he had to go to jail. What type of
yeah,
crap is that?
oh, this is your lucky day. You seem like the kind that needs a break. Oh, you remind me of my grandson. Like, here we go again. Here we go again. Okay? Unbelievable. And then he says, I'm gonna do it to where you go to jail, but you on work release or whatever, right? So you're able to come out when you're working, and we're gonna withhold this misconduct from your job.
It's like he got away.
Yeah. Are you serious? And it was so sad, because the parents and the father, he's just in there like just so freaking sad, and it's so messed up what happened. And if they would have got him and locked him up for this, his youngest son wouldn't have got killed.
Yeah, facts.
So yeah, so sad. Like they just yep, systemic racism, exactly. I guess I said systematic, which was wrong. Anyway, so um he gets arrested, and that was that. So the judge says, does that sound fair to you? Like, who cares about fair to this dude? Look at his, or I
Because
just
I
want
was
to
so
punch
mad
him
at
in
this
the
because it's
face.
like he got away with it.
Yes, it just makes me want to punch him in the face, even though he's just the actor. But
Mhm.
honestly, that satisfied look on his face, it really makes you want to, right in the glasses, right in the center, right there. Did you want to say anything about? Oh, the judge really, he did not care about. Remember when the father was trying to speak, and he was like, "Oh, I need translation and all of this," and then when the son did come up to translate, he
They
didn't have
cut
the
his
patience
speech
for it.
short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, we'll just let them. You just give your statement to the what was the guy, the jail? I forgot what he
The
said.
bailiff.
The bailiff. I forgot. Yeah. So I'm just like all over the place. Sorry, like my words are just jumbled up tonight. So it was just really sad. Like this man is crying. He did not care. That white judge did not care. All he cared about is I'm gonna look out for my people, and that's the bottom line.
Mhm.
So you could say, I'm sorry, you could say something with this part.
No, I
I'm
just did. I was so disappointed with the judge. it was just so many different things that happened where I'm like, oh, sure, they gonna let this dude walk. He's
Mm-hmm.
bet he just got a slap on the wrist.
Yep. Slap on the wrist. Really just nothing. And the father, Lionel, was looking at the other father like, oh gosh. But of course, at the end of the day, he's all for that judgment for his son,
Of course.
keeping him, you know what I mean? But then he tried to call and say, write a letter, not call. He tried to write a letter to the judge talking about some, could you try to see if you could get my son some help for alcohol? It's not alcohol, guy. It's like way more than that. He's sick, is what it is.
Well, he needed to be taught. He needed to be talking to a psychologist.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, here comes the episode that they tried to rip our freaking hearts out with. Mm-hmm. And I mean, after this episode, I kind of, I don't know if I took like a really big break.
I took a break from it.
I watched the episode 7, but I don't think I watched it all the way and had to go back to it. So it kind of like got halfway through, but it was just so freaking sad. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And I knew it. I said, oh no, they are not about to let us see a whole episode about one of these victims, because if that happens, they're gonna get us. They're gonna get us. That they're coming after our hearts now. Like they're really trying to make us feel this thing. Mm-hmm. All right. So I mean, and the actor, I need to know his name because he just seems so. He did such a good job and seems so sweet, and it's just like, oh my gosh, And he had standards. He's like, no, you gotta earn me. You can't. And then it seemed like Dahmer actually liked him.
Yeah, that's what I was so shocked about.
Yeah, and to know, I'm like, yo, he seemed like he likes him. So what went wrong? Well, obviously, what went wrong, right? Can't even say that. Mm-hmm. Is that he's crazy? Like he's a sick person. What can we do? This is not a person that you can have a relationship with, because at the end of the day, you know why he keep on saying everybody wants to leave me. Everyone wants to leave me because his freaking mom left him.
Yeah, he had abandonment issues.
Yeah, and so on top of his craziness, his mental illness, he also has abandonment issues. Like this is crazy. Mm-hmm. He was playing hard to get. Yep. Mm-hmm. And he remember when he went to go take the pictures with the guy.
Yeah.
If only Naya. Remember when he went to go take the pictures with that one guy? He was like, does love live here? Because I'm looking for love. Does love live here? I thought this was a handsome picture, so I had to capture it. And first of all, like, not to shed, maybe just to have a little bit of a light feel, I have to say, if anything, they was really doing their thing with the music. Okay, I was like,
his name was,
they got the tunes on here.
His name was Ronnie Buford. Okay. That's the actor.
Yeah. He was very good. But guys, some of these songs, I was like, yes, they got the tunes on here bringing me back, especially when they have been around the world.
They was playing all the 90s stuff, right?
I was like, yay.
Pump up the jam.
Yes, I was just thinking that, pump up the jam. Oh my gosh. So it was just, that was at least something cool to listen to, but still the story just, and then I like how the writers or producers, they made a artistic decision to just make everything silent when him and his friends was doing the sign language, and we just had to read. So it's like we're in their world, we're hearing and living how they live in right now. Some people probably didn't appreciate that or didn't like that, but yeah. Oh, Naya says she heard he's deaf in real life. Oh wow.
Yeah, he's in another movie too. It said on the thing when I looked it up because you wanted to know his name.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really have much notes about this, because all I know is it was just a sad type of situation. Yeah. And he finally, remember when they went to go play that game, and it looks like a board game that Dahmer made himself, and you notice how he had like little wishbones as the the little pieces for the game. And then
Mm-hmm.
he says, if you get too close to me, you disappear into the vortex. And it was like, that was weird because it was almost like a setup, kind of.
Yeah.
Like that was his way to say, all right, this is how I'm going to kill this guy. So it's like
He even hooked him up with like dressing tips.
Yeah, so it's like once you get into this guy's house, it's a problem. You can't get into his house. I don't know how many weeks they were courting or, doing this little dating thing, but it's just crazy because it's like, it didn't matter how much time this is what was going to happen. And when he left, looks like they had a night or whatever. And when he left and came back for them daggone keys, it was a wrap. And I was like, yeah, that's when he saw his scary side. And he is like, because he yelled at him, because he was like, why do you disappear into the vortex? You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't make any daggone sense. And he's just like, what did he say? Because it just is. Like he just yelled at him, because I forgot what he said. But that was pretty much that, guys. Did you want to say anything before we wrap this up? Because the mom, she started to look for him.
We haven't seen this character since I think she was on the Cosby Show, and
she was in Malcolm and Eddie.
On A Different World too.
In Malcolm and Eddie.
I miss seeing her too. Yeah, she was on Malcolm and Eddie too. But I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, she did very good.
I thought she did a great job.
Mm-hmm. And so at this point, he's actually coming. He actually showed up. I don't know if this is real or not, but this little rally that she has, and they had a little fundraiser because they're like, let's all band together because the cops are not looking for Tony. And, there was putting money in the jar, and Dahmer showed up. I don't know if he really did that in real life, but he showed up and he put money in the jar. And then I think after this, he realizes, okay, there's people out here. Like he's watching the families hurting and knowing what's happened to this guy, Tony. So he goes home and he pulls out, because he has all of these IDs, all these licenses, IDs, and he calls one of the numbers. And I think it was the guy, I forgot the name of this person.
It's the one with the sister.
The one with the sister, but I'm trying to remember his name. But he called her and said, you don't stop looking for your brother. He disappeared into the vortex. And it was just like, oh my gosh.
How insensitive.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, maybe he figured, and so that nobody does what he's doing, in his crazy mind, maybe that's what he was thinking, but it doesn't matter. You're not telling nobody anything. So, all right, we're on to episode 7, guys. Home stretch. We almost out of here because it's 1:02. And this episode is called Cassandra. So now we get to see what this lady is going through. One thing about this, Niecy Nash, she played Glenda Cleveland, the next door neighbor of Jeffrey Dahmer. But the real life Glenda Cleveland did not live next door. She lived in the building over. So all of this that's going on, that's misleading, which is annoying. But, you can imagine, what if somebody really did hear all this stuff going on? And they did say there was a smell. So, who knows? But the whole point is, regardless, her cries were unheard. They were ignored. Nobody gave a crap about what the heck she was saying. Okay, so we have Jesse Jackson coming in, and this young man with him is like, why do we care about this now? Like, what does this have to do? Like, we're for civil rights and all of this stuff. So he's like, well, anytime where there's anything that has racial injustice or anything, we are a part of this. There's this underserved communities, wherever, all the stuff he was saying that wherever there's racial injustice, we got to tackle it at all angles. So even though to the world outside, people are not seeing this as something that had race to do with it at all, he's letting it be known like it does. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, AG says that Niecy Nash deserves an award. Yep, she did a great job. So
yeah, I was gonna say that too. She did a wonderful job. She did a good job, and I think she deserves an award.
Wow. Naya says that the actual neighbor was Pamela Bass. She and her husband were friends with him, even helped him clean his house to get rid of the smell, not knowing what was wow, what he was doing. Jesus. So, like I said, he said you got to tackle the dragon from all angles. All right. Now, did you want to say anything about this whole thing with her? Glinda. Is she gone? Okay, so um Glinda is I remember there was a scene, right, where she called because she heard something going on. She's thinking like, yo, he's killing somebody. All right, definitely. She was always hearing the power tools going off. She's hearing people saying, she's hearing voices and just like stuff sound like it's dropping on the floor and all of this stuff, right? And she can smell this horrible smell. So one day she calls 911 and she says, I feel like there's somebody being attacked or being killed right now. And the freaking operator says, can you go see?
What? Like, are you serious?
I'm like, yeah, you guys to be kidding me, okay? And the guy was also on the line was also saying like, ma'am, she's like, I call you guys all the time. He's like, ma'am, if you call us all the time, how are we supposed to know if it's really an emergency? Like basically saying she's crying wolf. And 911 is a resource, all this stuff. And it was like, yo, this lady, like if this was a real life situation where somebody was for real living next door to him, yo, they really needed to have a lot of therapy.
Heck yeah. But I feel like you saying if she lived in the building over, she probably did hear screaming and stuff. Screaming, and you could probably hear, he had his windows closed, but you probably could hear the power tools and all of that going on. Because he had that drill and all of that. Even quiet and late at night like that, you're gonna hear stuff like that.
Well, she got involved because her daughter and niece saw the kid Conrad walking out, and they saw him basically naked in the street with blood on his body. And my thing is, if the real life story,
out of his head.
Yeah, if the real life story is that you saw a naked kid going down the street with blood, even if you did think they was an adult, why didn't y'all call an ambulance? You let this man take him back into his house?
Yeah, because he was like, that's my lover.
That doesn't make any sense. Even if that was your lover, like, but once again,
he used the gay
it's the gay excuse. They don't want to touch nobody, like you were saying. If once he mentioned that he was gay, there you go. Like, I don't want to touch their blood, And at that time, you see what they kept showing us, the AIDS pandemic. They made sure that they were showing us that. They mentioned that was on the news. It's getting bad. Even in the Tony story, the mom, she was signing to him that the AIDS thing is getting bad out there. And so I think because she knew he was gay, so she was basically trying to say, please be careful. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so it's like she's dealing with the aftermath, and she has a lot of pressure. And Jesse Jackson, like I said, he gets involved, and he said that the case is a metaphor for all social ills that plague our nation, the bad policing, underserved communities, and all that stuff. So that's what I meant to say earlier, because I'm like, I know he said a mouthful, and so that's the reason why he was getting involved.
I watched some of the interview, Rainy J. They okay. Let me just, I'm not going ahead, Miss K. I'm just gonna say this. A lot of stuff was basically they had a poetic license with it and made it more theatrical. They wanted to dramatize things more just for that purpose. So it was a disclaimer in the beginning. So all of the stuff is not totally true to the letter, but a lot of the stuff is true. Like when they did the victims reading the statements and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not, I'm gonna leave it right here, and
but to be honest, I wouldn't, Rainy J, I wouldn't believe what the detective said. No, I wouldn't believe that, because they're the ones that let the kid go in the first place and tried to act like, nothing was wrong. Or we didn't. It was an adult. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. Okay.
And then they got awards at that.
Yeah. Like really? And see, I didn't even tell you I saw that, so that was a that could have been a spoiler, but thank God I went
Well,
ahead.
oh, okay. I'm surprised you didn't watch the
I didn't finish.
documentaries was talking about all of this.
Oh no, I'd
I
never
watched
watched nothing Dahmer. Nothing Dahmer. I just remember from when I was a kid, the lady yelling like that in
in the
the
courtroom.
in the courtroom. That's all I remember.
No, I
I
watched
never
all
knew
of that. I
I
was like in
never
my
knew how stuff like that.
I
I
was
told you I'm not into this kind of stuff. It's
I know
too much for my
this was like
like
real crime, so I knew you
yeah.
wasn't watching the whole thing.
Yeah. So but that's pretty much that, guys. And she's just somebody that feels really bad because that's how the real Glinda got involved in this whole thing, is
Hmm.
because of the kid Conorak.
Right.
And nobody, when she called to check to see if they did something about it or what happened, obviously it was like, oh, it was taken care of, that's nothing, it was. So it's just really sad, and she has to deal with that, and it's messed up that she didn't do anything wrong. She kept trying to call and call and call, and for her to be living with this and dealing with all of like the aftermath of it and be traumatized by it, it's messed up. But she didn't do nothing. It's the cops. And like you said, getting a war. Since you brought that up, I saw that episode before we went on here. And guys, I'm not lying. I thought that I was gonna burst into tears with like not sadness but anger.
Mm-hmm.
I got so mad because when she was getting her award and then they was getting, like, they had the scene sequence and it showed him getting ready to call up these officers, I was like, I know they are not about to call these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And when
And
they
they
said
did.
that officer's name, Bazarak or whatever his name is, I knew exactly. And I said, I know they are not doing this. So it's just annoying. I don't know what happens after. But I'm going to go back and finish watching it. But it's so freaking sad.
Yeah, the people at her job pissed me off too.
Yeah, they were like, oh, so what they mentioned about zombies,
They
like,
no,
that's
they
cute.
talked about her. They called her out. I thought she was gonna get fired actually.
Yeah, no,
When they
but the
called her
lady,
out and talked about her crying at her desk. Really?
yeah, yeah. So then she was like, asking about the zombies. Like, how insensitive is that? Her
She didn't care.
coworker.
She didn't care.
It's, girl, it just gets to
She sounded
me.
like she was asking about a doggone movie.
Yeah, to me it gets worse. From after this episode, you go through the Lionel and the father. It just gets worse to me. It really
Mm-hmm.
does, because it's
Right.
just like, yo, people are then now you talk about somebody glorifying. Now the other sickos come out where they want to make comic books and all that. That's when all of the other sick stuff starts to happen, and you see like this man did something crazy, and now you got people that want to be him for Halloween and all of that. But we're going to talk about that. I'm going to go live again and finish out that, the rest of the season, and, we'll talk. So did you want to say any final words?
Look,
Oh, wait, we got to talk about this scene. We got to talk about this scene because she
but the
made a complaint.
sandwich.
Yes, she made a complaint and she was like, no, you need to get rid of this guy. Like, I'm sorry. He needs to be evicted. Everybody is complaining about him. Like, when are you going to do something about him? So he finally came, the super finally comes and was like, you got to go. I'm sorry. You're a good tenant, Jeffrey, but you got to go. So he's like, what? Who complained? Glinda? Like, he wants to know. Jeffrey comes over here, brings her a sandwich, and she was like, thank you, I'll eat it after. But when he tried to still force it, like he's freaking crazy, talking about like eat the cake anime, like, I made you
No, you're gonna eat it now.
made you a sandwich. Take back the complaint. I made you a sandwich. Like, what?
Fuck out of
She said, I
here.
ain't eating no sandwich after that come out of your house that been smelling like raccoons butt. Raccoons A. When she said that, I was cracking up.
I
But look
was
at her
laughing at
face.
that too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say what
But
you
I feel like
mean.
that was somebody that was human meat.
Yeah, I was not trying to, like, no. When he brought that, I said, girl, I know you not about to eat nothing. And why'd you let him in your house?
That was crazy too. But she left the door open.
Yeah, she did leave the door open, but I would have been like, you're not coming in here at all. No, no, get out of here. It's not happening.
I think they're gonna do John Wayne Gacy's next, y'all, because the way they showed
they got it. What? Because of the way you mean? Because they got a thing on Netflix with him right now.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do something
some type of what is it? Letters or a sit down? I don't know what it is, but
I think it's it's some kind of documentary. But I think they're gonna do something on him next.
Yeah, I didn't see the episode when they talked about him. So we about to get out of here because the spoilers are coming. All right, so there he go, right? He's like, eat it. And she's like, you need to get out of my apartment, okay? And this is just, even after the fact.
I couldn't understand why would she want to move back in there. Her daughter was like, and then they gave y'all money to move. I didn't understand that.
Just being prideful, like I guess in a way she's feeling like she's trying to control, hurt the situation. And
yeah, when she felt like I'm not gonna let him scare me. I got it, but I'm still
that's not. But it's hard, One thing that I feel like I try to always remember is that I don't pass judgment on people's situations. If I don't know what it's like, and I daggone sure don't want to know, I try not to say too much about some stuff. Like I'll be looking at like, okay, yeah, you crazy girl, because it would be like, why would you want to go back there? But at the same time, it's like you just don't know what they're going through or what's the psychological reason why they want to stay, so it's nothing you could say. So
can you highlight Rainy J's comment, the last comment, when you get a minute?
It's letters never seen and recordings never released. Oh, that's the Gacy.
Okay.
Yeah, not interested. Ryan Murphy said Aaron Hernandez and JFK Jr. will be his next projects. Oh,
that's okay. What's up.
I'm not interested either. All right, but thank you, Rainy J, for that. I won't be watching either or
I'll watch Aaron Hernandez.
The Aaron Hernandez.
I think I'll watch them all.
The Aaron Hernandez or the JFK. I won't be doing none of those.
JFK Jr. I will watch that too because I want to know what happened with that plane.
Yep. So, but that's that, guys. Did you want to? I was talking. I'm sorry, Moochie. You had to say a few things about.
No, it's okay.
Go ahead and say something. Because she's still listening. So all of the, she's still listening to the drills and the grinding and all that.
Yeah, because she's hearing all of that, and I'm just not understanding why she wanted to stay there after.
But this is because this is still while it's going on, like
Yeah, but I wouldn't have stayed there anyway. Once you found her daughter had her own place, I would have went there with her.
Mm-hmm. Hey, she don't want to be a burden, she says.
Smelling all those smells and all of that. What?
No, Rainy J's like,
nope, not yeah. That word. I hear you.
Yeah, it's not my thing, guys. It's crazy enough that I watch this. It's crazy enough because I was
surprised you watched it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie though. Once in a while, I do watch like the movies or something of this. The serial killers. Like I watched the Ted Bundy movie before. Mm-hmm. So just once in a while. But like I'm not the type of person. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna. Nope. So we're about to get out of here, guys. And when you guys watch the Aaron Hernandez story and the JFK Jr. and JFK. Holla at your girl. Let me know what's happening. Yeah. Yes, I'm into the psychological. I know you and mom. That's why when they be having the ID channel, I'll be like, all right.
She said that. I'm like,
time for me to go.
She said I'll be watching the same stuff your mom was.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, guys, see ya.
All righty then. So I guess we gonna get out of here.
Yes, we're gonna get out of here. You're welcome, AG. Thank you. Randy J says, Moochilla dude on your channel. Good night, Lil Rock.
I'm trying to get my American Gigolo stuff together.
It wasn't gory. It's just was emotional. Yeah, it wasn't. And thank God, like they didn't show all this stuff. You know, they just we got what's
To
going
me,
on.
this was more details than any of the other ones I've seen.
And they probably needed that.
It was somebody in the chat that said it was more than 3. So I'm like, I didn't even know it was that many.
Yeah,
The
somebody
3,
said 6 or something, right?
Yeah, the 3 that I saw, this was the most graphic to me.
Yeah.
The most graphic and the most details.
Yes. Wow. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming through. Support Gaming. HEA. And Inga says she's caught up on American Gigolo. I Speak Life and Wisdom series, my sissy. Rainy J. Let me see who else. Did I say HEA? Yes. All right. Lil Rock, thank you so much for coming through, guys. AG, thank you guys so much. And Naya Johnson, I don't see you, but I know you were here. Thank you guys once again. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm not sure when, but in the next few days. So just keep your notification bell turned on so we can stop talking about this Dahmer thing, and just be done with it out of our lives. Okay. All right, guys, take care and be blessed. Wait, Moochie, did you want to say what's coming up on your channel real quick before we go?
Okay, I uploaded the episode 2 of American Gigolo. I'm in the process of uploading 3, and tomorrow I'm going live for yesterday's episode of American Gigolo. So please keep your notifications on. If you didn't check out the American Gigolo, the pilot, and the second episode, please check it out and holler at your girl tomorrow. All right. And I'm also gonna put up a poll because I just want to know what people think about a certain character in the series. All right. Thank you. And thank you for letting me speak, Miss K.
Of course. You're welcome. Later, guys.